Hey everyone, welcome back to AGT time. Cody Patterson here
Along with Jay Bach. We're going to be talking Season 3, Episode 4 from July 8th, 2008. Ready to jump into another episode here. And I was pleased to see that this was not a 2-hour episode, but just a 1-hour episode, I believe.
Yes, I saw that too. When I was watching it, I noticed this was moving along rather quickly. We went from Atlanta again back to New York, and we changed pretty quickly. So I'm like, wow, what's going on here? So I looked, and it's only an hour episode. So nice change of pace there for AGT in season 3.
Yeah, I can get behind the little bit shorter episode, a little more digestible that way. But before we jump into the actual episode, of course, we need to give out our deets, right? On the social meds. You can.
What's going on here, Jay?
I'm just abbreviating everything, trying to go quick. Make this an hour-long episode. You can contact us on Twitter. However you choose to contact us, it's at agttimepod. That's agttimepod@gmail.com. agttimepod is our Twitter handle, our Instagram, etc. If you want to reach out to Cody directly, he's at Cody L. Patterson. If you want to reach out to me directly, I'm at One Man Bander. That's all spelled out. And we try to tweet out all the goings on in the AGT world on our AGT Time Pod Twitter handle. That's a great follow, and we'll see you on the interwebs, folks.
I don't know what's going on here tonight.
I don't know. I'm acting a little goofy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. You got the flat cap on backwards again tonight. We get more flat cap tonight, Jay.
Yeah, this is my original wool flat cap from my college days. I believe I bought it at Goodwill for a buck or two. But I'd grown my hair out, and this was a really great way to kind of keep it out of my face and not wear something traditional. So my old gray wool flat cap. I've worn this puppy a lot of hours.
Well, it kind of goes along with one of our acts that we have tonight, who also wore the flat caps.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there, I'm sure.
We'll get to them. Yep. Did you have a podcast review this week?
Oh, buddy, you know what? I thought of one, and I don't remember what it was. I forgot to put that in my brain before we jumped live here. Here's one that just came out. Or they just put out a new episode. We are 100 days away from, well, I guess 99 days now. It'll probably be closer to like 95 when this episode goes live. The podcast is Olympipod, Olympipod, and similar to the Olympic podcast, Keep the Flame Alive or Flame Alive Pod that I reviewed last time. This is another Olympic-themed podcast, and they are going to be covering the Winter Olympic Games coming up and all the interviews and stuff that leads up to that. So that's another good follow as we have another Olympics around the corner, just like that.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're coming up on the Olympics again. We just had the Summer Olympics, the Winter Olympics in Beijing will be happening in February, which leads me into a little bit of AGT Extreme, because if the Olympics are going to be happening in February, it's most likely that Extreme will happen in January. Surely they won't have a couple of weeks of Extreme break for the Olympics and then come back for Extreme. So
that's hard
we
to
haven't
say.
We haven't heard anything official, but if I worked for NBC, I would just have Extreme in January and then go right into the Olympics.
Yeah, we don't even know what the format is going to be for the AGT time. I wonder if, or for the AGT Extreme.
I would hope we know the format for AGT time.
We got that one. That is, I think our format is what you call fluid. But AGT Extreme, like, is it going to be like each episode they crown a winner of the episode? Is it bracket style? Is it, this week we're going to have Danger X that are with fire. This next week we're going to have escape artists. This next week we're going to do, all outdoors, power sports. Is it going to be something like that? Is it going to be? We just don't know. So, I'd imagine this is something that they could make as short as 4 or 5 weeks, or as long as 20, 25 episodes if they wanted, like they do. So,
I just anticipate it's going to be similar to how Champions was, where it's probably going to be about 5 to 6 weeks, maybe 7, 4 or 5 weeks of prelims, and then finals. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
Basing it off absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Our experience. That's kind of the smell test, right? All right. Well, that's coming up. We've got Olympics around the corner. AGT Extreme is going to be here before we know it. First we got to get through Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. So it's a busy time of the year, but not so busy that we can't watch some America's Got Talent. Are you ready to jump into episode 4?
I'm ready to get into episode 4.
All right, let's do it. First act of the night was a gentleman known as Billy Dodson. Calls himself an opera singer. Says he's a 29-year-old health inspector. Looks like a bodyguard.
Yes.
Big
not
dude,
not the bodyguard. Not Kevin Costner.
No, just a bodyguard.
Okay.
A stereotypical big dude. He's
wearing all black.
Yeah. He's going to sing from the opera Carmen. He's going to sing Habanera, and does it up in what do you call that? Like falsetto voice, a counter tenor voice. Judges didn't care for it. 3 X's from them in pretty short order. Sharon's comment was "sing like a man."
So they all said "sing like a man." I thought they were going to give him a second chance and let him sing it like a man, but of course we all know
no second chances.
There are no second chances this season. That's right.
Okay. So thanks for coming, Billy. But have a nice, safe walk home. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Might take the sub. You might take the underground, the tube.
Yeah, but I'm not going to attack him, regardless.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not going to try and hold this guy up. All right, second act of the night. We got 10-year-old Alex Piles. She is I guess billed as a martial artist or a self-defense artist. She's going to perform with her dad. Definitely does more offensive than defensive kind of self-defense, it seems. They clearly have, this whole routine choreographed down to the bitter end where she stomps on his, got him on the ground, stomps between his legs, or at least pretends to. The final blow, the death blow, you could call it. It was cute. I don't know that I loved this act. What did you think of Alex Piles and her dad?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch. It's great that they kind of had this choreographed. It's very similar to what we've seen with other martial artist acts, except it was by herself. She didn't break any boards, didn't break any bricks. So we kind of like it when that happens. Seemed like it was just a one person side swipe type performance.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but I've written down here that it's almost acrobatic.
Sure.
There is some martial arts, but it's almost acrobatic in spots. I thought it was fun. She did talk about that if she comes back, she's going to bring more people because there are times you're attacked by multiple people rather than just one person. So,
yes, more very choreographed people.
Yes. lots of stunt doubles or stunt artists, I guess you would.
As long as she's attacked by the jets or the sharks, I think she might be fine. We can't move on before we mention her dad's facial hair. Did you make note of this at all?
I did. I noticed the facial hair, but I did not make a note of it.
Okay, well, it's something.
Okay.
So think like 90s boy band, like really thin chin strap.
Yes.
He's got that going. Except, it connects to the mustache over the mouth, and then it comes under the bottom, and it comes up in a soul patch underneath his bottom lip. But where it comes down the side, from his sideburns down his jawline, there's also 2 more spikes that come out straight forward. One like higher up on the cheek underneath the eyes, and then one lower down, and then the one that connects all the way at the bottom. That's gotta at least be annoying to maintain.
Well, this was kind of the day and age of the manscaping. Men getting the fine razors, electrical razors, and making sure that their facial hair is all sharp and succinct. So it's right on point for 2008.
Okay, right on point for 2008. And I'm a fan of facial hair. I try to do fun and interesting things with mine from time to time. I've never gone for the I don't even know what to call that. The triple spikes.
What is the I can't do any of that with mine. I just don't have it where I just it's either like real patchy or I just shave it. So what's something like what's the most intricate thing you've done with your facial hair? Like
so
did you do the goatee at the time or the soul patch or did you have the
soul patch comes and goes. I normally just wear the chin strap, right? From the sideburn down under the chin and back up to the other sideburn. And then I shave the cheeks and the upper lip and everything and keep it pretty clean. But I like to have a little something there. So that's what I normally wear. Now, one day at my former employer, they had a like crazy hair day, and it's like you've got girls with all this hair and all this stuff that they can do with it, and they can do spikes and funny braids and yada yada yada. And I'm like, I got I do my own haircuts, right? I got a 2 on the sides and 4 on top. Like there's not much that I can do, right?
Okay.
So I looked at my chin strap and I thought, what if I put I shaved out every half an inch, right? So it was stripes of facial hair down the side.
Okay.
And that's what I did for Crazy Hair Day, and it was pretty well received. None of the women went so far as shaving any of the of their hair to make Crazy Hair Day happen for them. So that's probably the most intricate thing I've done, and it was as a joke. It was to be noticeable, and ultimately, Alex Pyle's dad, he had noticeable facial hair. If that was his goal, like he nailed it.
Yep, kind of stick out. Now the judges didn't make any note of it. I think once they were done, he left the stage.
Yeah, well, the act really is Alex's.
Okay, yeah.
And we can get to judges' comments. Hoff said to Alex, "Will you be my security guard? Will you negotiate my next contract?" That was very cool, creative, very different, and a lot of fun. Pierce said the reality.
What famous person, what celebrity is going into a negotiation with someone that does martial arts?
That's a good point. I thought you were going to say with Alex Pyles as their...
No. Just like, are they taking it's like Chuck Norris going in with people to help them negotiate their contract.
I've never been a part of a negotiation where I felt like the health of my thumbs was on the line. But I'm not a Hollywood guy,
Okay.
I'm here in central Iowa, not really, just trying to keep my nose clean, and really doing a pretty good job, I'd like to say. So
okay, good. Achievement earned.
Yes.
Yes.
Thumbs intact. That's good. Pierce said, the reality check is you're very good at that act, but it's not going to win America's Got Talent, which I think is reality. That's, he's bringing it down. Sharon said, I don't know that this stage could work in Vegas, but I do think you could be in some martial arts movies. So Pierce is going to give her a no. David gives her a yes, and Sharon hems and haws for a second, but ultimately gives her a yes. So Alex Piles is going through to the Vegas round.
This is the thing that just totally baffles me with these judges, is that Pierce says, oh, this is not going to, do well at Vegas or whatever. But then he puts through just nonsense that, like, absolutely no one's going to go watch in Vegas.
Well, again, the yardstick that we're measuring with changes from act to act, from episode to episode, from moment to moment. If we based all the acts on are you a Vegas worthy act, I don't know that we would get a TV show out of it, right?
Yeah. Would we even get enough to have a finals performance?
I think so, but we certainly wouldn't have.
So we go straight from
auditions.
We go from auditions straight into finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the 10 acts that we think are Vegas worthy, right? And sometimes I think that's a perfectly legitimate yardstick, and sometimes it's not. Depending on the act, depending on how the judges are feeling.
Production's going to Pierce and be like, we got to fill like 6 more weeks. Can you find some more things to like put in between auditions and finals?
Can you stop being so rude? All right, let's move on from Alex Pyle. Let's move on to Sarah Lenore. She's a singer, guitarist. She's originally from Michigan and moved to Tennessee because that's where you want to be if you want to become a musical artist.
You got to be in Nashville. That's right.
You don't happen to know Sarah Lenore, do you? You're in
I do not. No, we haven't crossed paths. No.
Okay. She's going to sing a song called Before He Cheats while she plays guitar. This is a Carrie Underwood song. Are you familiar with this song, Cody?
I think I've heard it. It's not on my regular rotation, but I think I've heard it a couple of times on AGT.
All right. The beginning and ending of my popular music knowledge is what's been on America's Got Talent, I'm afraid.
Yes, that's right.
All right. I don't honestly have a lot to say about Sarah Lenore. I don't feel like it was something that I need to see again. She was a singer. I didn't feel like there was anything magical about her. No real big hook. It was fine.
Yeah, a couple of things that stuck out to me was at the end. I thought at the ending seemed a little overdone. There was a kind of just a part or a phrase at the end where she just kept repeating, and it just felt overdone. But the one thing that really stuck out for me on this particular act, and I'm not sure why, after I watched it, was she got quite a lot of time on stage.
Oh yeah, did you put a clock on it?
I went back and put a clock on it. Now I haven't
what's the stopwatch?
I haven't put a clock on anything this season, but for some reason this one act just stuck out at me, and it came to 1:34. So it came right to the 90 seconds that we always talk about with AGT, but it felt like it was much longer for some reason.
Is that good or bad?
I think it was good. I mean, it didn't feel like the song wasn't cut off. It didn't feel like the song was abbreviated in any manner. It felt like it was a full song, but it was only really about half the song. But it you want that screen time, obviously. The Ryan Niemiller philosophy for AGT. You want the screen time.
Yep.
So the 1:34 and the fact that I clocked it, that's probably going to help me remember her.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Pierce said the audience and I both enjoyed that performance. Sharon, I think Sharon nailed her comments here. She said, you need to work on your individuality because there are a lot of young, blonde, pretty girls who sing and play guitar, but I do think you have a great future. And that really was a yeah, like that's what I felt like. She's a pretty blonde girl who sings and plays guitar. Like there's nothing really remarkable about that. We've seen a dozen of them. So, Hoff said, one of the beauties of the show is watching people progress, and you're raw, and you can wail. It's easy to wail, but you've got to find the other part of that song and bring us in. But I think you've got an amazing voice. So, he's like, your top dynamics are fantastic. Bring us some intimacy. Let us know who you are a little bit in your singing, and there might be something there. But even despite the judges not necessarily loving her performance, it was good enough for her to get 3 yeses, and she's going through. Anything else on Sarah Lenore?
No, I mean, you're exactly right. She's a singer, she's a guitarist, she's young, she's pretty. I thought she had a good voice, but the only thing that stuck out to me was the amount of time she was on stage.
All right, which was not an outlier. It
really wasn't. It felt much longer, but it really wasn't that. It really was very normal. It's very average.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't Peter Antonio long.
No, golly, no. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Flambeau. Flambeau is a 41-year-old fire performer. Fire artist might be the word. I'm not sure. Originally from Scotland, he breathes fire and wears like a flaming headdress when he performs. He unfortunately kind of got montaged. I think that his there was. I would have liked to see what he was doing on the stage.
Yeah, I think I have a new favorite performer, Jay.
Oh,
in Flambeau.
Really?
This guy's all about fire. This guy's all about fire.
He is all about fire. Like
he's all about fire. Yes.
If you love fire, you'll love Flambeau.
His name is Flambeau.
Yep. Flambeaux. Yes,
Flambeau. They went with the Louisiana spelling of bow.
Yeah. All right. So, I told you what he does, right? Like, he breathes fire, wears a flaming headdress. There's lots of fire. That's all we saw. But I do think it's worth mentioning Flambeau's facial hair. Did you make note of this at all?
If those of you watching on the video, you can see the little picture that I've got of Flambeau.
Yeah, you can see it there.
Let's see if we can make this a little bigger here. And what we can do is we can just pop that up in there. And yeah, we've got his little facial hair up there.
Okay, so Flambeau's facial hair, kind of like Alex's dad, is pretty over-stylized. If I wear what I like to call a chin strap, I think I would call his a cheek strap.
Okay.
I shave, from my jawline up, and he shaves like from middle of his cheek down. And so it comes down his sideburns and then across towards his mouth. And then on the top of that, I'm assuming it's kind of cut into like a flame shape, or at least some kind of a spike that points up towards his eyeballs on each side. It's a weird facial hair. He also keeps a thin goatee, a ring that goes all the way around his mouth, down his chin. So from his sideburn, straight towards the corner of his mouth, and then up over his mouth around, and then on both sides, with the extra spike that points up towards his eyeball. That's an interesting one. I haven't done the cheek strap before, but boy, that's something.
Yeah, I love this dude. I want to see more of him.
I'd love to see more. We didn't see much, and he kind of got montaged. So I'm assuming 3 yeses for Flambeau.
I hope so. Did we check the AGT wiki on him? And
I believe. Let's see. Yeah, he's listed as going through.
Okay, good.
All right, let's move on then to Miss Nicole Romana, 32-year-old pole dancer. She goes by the moniker of Pole Champ sometimes. Got montaged here doing a pole dancing routine. I didn't see enough to make any sense of how good it is, but she does get enough votes to go through the Vegas round. So,
but the question is, Jay, was it classy?
Was it classy? Hard to say. Again, montaged.
Did you want to see more of her pole dancing?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I have no comment.
So, pole champ, does that mean she's a pole competitor? A pole dancing competitor?
Let me pull up the wiki here.
Okay. Because I think this would be real interesting. I'm sure there's a competition for everything. So, I'm sure that there are competitions for pole dancing, and it's got to be an artistic type competition.
Nicole Romana, a.k.a. Pole Champ, has performed all over the country and has been seen opening the AVN Awards at Mandalay Bay Event Center in January of 2008, which aired on Showtime in March and April. She was featured
Showtime, okay.
Featured on Secret Lives of Women in May of 2008. That's what I got.
Interesting. Okay.
That's everything I know about Nicole Romana. Which is plenty, I'm going to go with.
Okay.
All right. Let's, Gwayan Mata, an African dance group. And I just pulled this information straight from the wiki, because we didn't see anything of this. Another montage to act here. Gwayan Montana is the award-winning, dynamic, soul-stirring, all-female dance, percussion, and vocal ensemble that celebrates the richness of traditional Africa by exhibiting its exemplary art form.
I'm sure that all of this is fantastic. I'm sure they're a great group. We appreciate them coming and showing off their talent. Did not write anything down for them.
We didn't see them.
Yeah.
We heard Hoff say, "You guys are awesome." I think
we'll
here's
just
what this show is all about.
It's how many performances, how many acts are what this show is all about?
Oh man, I think 2 so far this episode.
Yeah.
All right. We get the next act here is SQ Entertainment, hip hop dance group. They're all cousins, it turns out, and they hip hop dance. One guy does a front flip off the stage that I think impressed the judges a little bit, at least according to their reactions. They do a thing where this was kind of my highlight of the act, I guess. A guy was standing with another guy sitting on his shoulders, and when the guy on the shoulders leans back, he picks up another guy with his feet under his armpits, and they balance themselves on that standing guy in the middle, and then the guy who's standing underneath spins in a circle while the other two balance each other. So that was happening like on both sides of the stage while all the other cousins were doing some hip-hop dancing between them. I don't know, Boston, Massachusetts. Thoughts on SQ Entertainment?
Yeah, these guys were pretty good. They're good dancers. They do some great tricks, but it didn't feel cohesive. Like, it just seemed like there was just a bunch of tricks going on, but it didn't seem like there was any type of cohesion or that they were trying to keep together. Their steps were kind of out of sync, but some of the tricks were good. I just would like to see kind of them polish it up some more.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they were... I don't know. I feel like I asked for a story. Tell me a story. But, like, we don't necessarily need a story. Just, like, some texture, right?
Yeah.
Not just, like, here's all of our 7 best dance moves. Go. Like,
yep.
Give us something. Hoff said the energy and choreography and the humor I love. If you go to the next level, put on new outfits and class it up, I think you could go far. Pierce said it's a definite yes from me. Sharon said it's a yes from me. So that is SQ, which stands for Status Quo Entertainment.
Do you really want to be the status quo when it comes to AGT?
Well, I don't know. Are they what the show's all about? Because if that's the status quo, that's not a bad spot to be in.
I don't know if you really want to be the status quo. I think you kind of want yourself to stick out some.
Probably, yeah. All right, that's SQ Entertainment, and we are done in Hotlanta. We're going back to New York.
Oh my goodness!
Pack it up. Call our venue. Tell them to open the doors again.
In my episode title for the episode, it said Atlanta, so I was like, "Oh, cool! We're going to be in Atlanta the whole episode." No, we're going back to New York City. We're only in it for half the episode.
We're going back to New York. All right. Well, I'm kind of excited about this first group that we get here in New York. It's the James Gang. They are a dancing vocal group. If you like flat caps, you'll like the James Gang. It's a mashup of old and new, they tell us.
Those guys right
and
there.
They're wearing... What?
That's those guys.
The there.
Those
there
guys right there. Yeah. Yep.
If you're watching the YouTubes, that's the James Gang. You can watch them. So they've got like suit jackets on, bow ties, like knicker pants, knickerbockers. What do you call them?
Knickerbockers. Yeah.
Yeah, with the socks pulled up to the knees.
Yep.
Flat caps, as I mentioned. You know, they look very like 1930s.
I loved it.
Yeah, really cool. From the wiki again, it says the James Gang is a throwback neo-vaudevillian performance troupe. The members combine dance, theater, song, and magic in their live show.
Magic?
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome.
And they fuse the sounds of the 20s and 30s with hip-hop, creating an original soundscape. So they dance and they kind of rap sing. I'm have a hard time kind of saying what it is. Think maybe like a Tin Pan Alley feel. But cool, right? These are cool looking guys, and they kind of own this corner of whatever this musical genre is. I enjoyed this quite a bit. You have thoughts on the James Gang?
Oh, absolutely. I love the outfits. I think that's kind of the best thing. They have I'm guessing he's a DJ or a mixer, spinner of some sort up behind them. But the bow ties, the jackets, the knickers, the flat caps, the boots, shoes, whatever it is they're wearing, all great. I think this is something that really makes them stick out. They've got a brand, something they're very memorable, which is what you need to be on AGT. Not only talented, but you need to be memorable. I'm glad you said that they do magic. I wasn't aware of that, so I'd like to see more of them, because if they're doing magic, I want to see that. This is great. I love it. I love it.
Probably the best throwback neo-vaudevillian performance troupe on AGT to date.
Yeah.
Hoff said, very different, very cool. Today, I'm seeing a great representation of what this town is about. And it's a yes from all three judges. So,
yeah. And it seemed like that was probably an original that they sang. I would say.
I suspect so.
Yeah, I think it was an original.
I didn't have indication otherwise. So I sure enjoyed them. All right. Next we got Victoria Jacoby. She's an 11-year-old contortionist, adopted from China at the age of 6 months. And this little girl is as cute as a button. She's wearing like a pink bodysuit with cat ears and a little cat tail, and folds herself in half just ridiculously. If you're in a place, listeners, where you can do this, imagine touching the back of your head to your butt, or even the backs of your knees. Stand up and bend yourself backwards to the point that your head touches your butt. Like, this is what she does. And smiles the whole time. It's crazy. The I guess most incredible trick was like folding herself in half backwards like that, and then she added a half twist.
Yes,
which was pretty cool. She also like balanced on her forearms and folded herself and reached over her head with her feet and picked up a drink and drank from a glass.
With her feet.
With her feet, yes. That's
with
what
I meant
to, yeah.
Yep.
And I like contortionists. The amount of work that they have to do is a lot. to getting into and maintaining the flexibility and the strength that it takes to do these tricks. And to make it also a performance and not just, a trick. Like, hey, watch this thing that I can do. It's like, no, this is actually a show, right? It was an act. I enjoyed this quite a bit. You have thoughts on Victoria?
Yeah, I like this too. We've seen a lot of contortionists on AGT, and some of our favorites, Sophie Dossi, that we've seen more recently than this. But as I'm watching contortionists, I am impressed with what they do. It is amazing what contortionists can do. But after what Sophie Dossi did, it's almost like I'm looking for some sort of, okay, what's their thing? What's their bit? What's their...
The thing is touching her butt to her head.
Well, no, but it's like, I had written down at first that she, she's really good, but she doesn't have this like thing that she does. But then she picked up the glass with her feet. I'm like, okay, that might be her thing. But if you're just twisting and, you're bending over backwards, it's like, I think there's a lot of contortionists that can do that. You've got to do this one thing that's memorable, that, that's going to kind of make you stick out. I've kind of got this theme going this week, Jay, for some reason. It's like that one thing, that one bit that you need to be memorable. And I didn't think she had it at first, but if she does that, if she's going to pick things up with her feet, then that might help her move along.
All right. I can get behind that. Hoff said, I told Sharon I think you're great. You're absolutely fantastic. Sharon said, there are so many young girls who forget you have to learn your craft to get famous, and you know your craft, and you deserve to be here. Pierce said, that is quite the talent. You're a brilliant contortionist. So Victoria Jacoby gets 3 yeses. She's going through to the Vegas round.
Yeah, and I have written down here, it's their wow moment is what I have written down.
Ooh, maybe that's, instead of their thing, they need a wow moment.
It's a wow moment, yeah.
She had that. And did I mention she's cute? She is
she's very
adorable
cute.
Little 11-year-old. All right. That's Victoria Jacoby. You ready to get into some eliminated acts here?
Yep. Let's do some montage here.
All right. We got Polka Today. 37 and 44-year-old polka dancing couple, Matt and Elaine Bonowitz from Staten Island, New York. I couldn't help but feel like this guy lacks some social awareness or some social niceties, maybe.
Yeah.
Matt and Elaine come out on stage, and Hoff or Pierce says, or maybe it was Sharon, I don't even remember, like, so, tell us about Polka Today. And he says, we are the creators of Polka Today, a high-energy blend of country swing and ballroom dancing to a polka.
It's like, we are Polka Today, and we invented polka dancing. It's like, he was reading it straight from a...
Yeah, he definitely had this line memorized.
Yeah,
He definitely, I want to hit all the high points, that we're the creators, okay? The music you'll hear is country and swing and ballroom, and we're going to be dancing polka. And high energy. Okay, yeah, put in high energy. Anyhow, it wasn't, he was a little bit robotic there.
Yeah.
But they dance. The song is going to be Walking on Sunshine. Is this one on the Cody Patterson playlist?
Probably. I can take a quick peek at that. I'm sure it is.
All right. Walking on Sunshine. I didn't hate this, honestly. They were clearly enjoying themselves, and they were clearly capable dancers. If you were going to say, Jay, you have to sit down and watch one of these 2 acts, you've got Beyond Belief Dance Company behind door number 1, and you've got Polka Today behind door number 2. I would pretty readily take door number 2. I think I would enjoy this more and longer than I would a more traditional dance troupe.
Okay.
What did you think of Polka Today?
Yeah, they seemed all over the place, and I just looked, and Walking on Sunshine is not in the playlist, but Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth is. So
Not the same.
No, but I am familiar with Walking on Sunshine, and it's a great song. It's a fun song. I just, for some reason, just don't have it. But it would be on the playlist if I had it.
All right.
I like that song. But these guys were all over the place. And like you said, they kind of had some scripted descriptions of what they do. They were wearing the bright yellow, like one of the groups we saw last week.
Zane and Jessica.
Yeah,
Emily,
yeah.
Sarah,
Suzanne. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I don't know if this is something I would want to watch. I mean, polka music is very fun to listen to. I'm not sure. I didn't even know there was polka dancing.
What? Polka's a dance.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I just didn't know. I just wasn't aware that it was.
Oh.
Is it more of a northern type dance? I mean, okay, let me phrase that. Okay, so we've got clogging. We've got clogging down here where I'm at. Do they have polka dancing up where you're at?
People do a polka dance up here where I'm at.
Okay, so see, it might be a regional thing.
You might have to go a little further, like Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Yes,
to
Wisconsin.
Get to
Yes, yep.
The real polka
UP. Yep.
Aficionados.
Yes.
But polka. You skip left to right, right, and it's harder for the ladies because they have to skip backwards. And,
okay.
It's actually a fun dance to watch. And polka music, of course, you've got your boom chick, and if there's no if it's not tuba, it's not polka. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily have to dance to polka music because they could dance to a high energy blend of country, swing, and ballroom.
Yeah. I did a little research on polka today because I was very fascinated with their being award winning. Is that what they said? And they inventing all of this. Creators, yes. So I did a little some very quick digging. I'm not going to say I did deep dive on this, but
do tell me more.
I did a quick search for polka today, and there was an article that came out. It came out at the time that this. Basically, an article talking about them being on AGT.
Okay.
And then there's some replies to the article. So we're still even 13 years ago commenting on news articles back in the day. Yep. So a couple of the replies. The promotion of polka is great, and I applaud these two promoters. What worries me is this show seems more about entertainment than valid talent identification. Looking at the cast of judges, this show has the characteristics of The Gong Show.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's see. Where was another one I thought was interesting? Well, I may have to come back to it. There's another one I found interesting, and I probably should have made a better note of it. But it was talking about thanking them for going on the show and being, kind of along the same lines of, hey, we thank them for going on the show and being representatives of polka dancing. And here we go. This is what we've all been waiting for. Polka music and two very talented people get on the biggest summer show out there on network TV. This is really big news.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't get great comments from the judges.
No, they did not.
Hoff said, it looked to me like you were in a blender. I didn't get it. Sharon said, you can have fun with the sack rakes, and that was fun, but it was just silly dancing. Pierce said, that was polka 50 years ago, not polka today. So the judges were kind of out on polka today. If you look at this through the lens of, can this win America's Got Talent? No. Is it fun? Yeah. I smiled. I enjoyed it. I kind of wish that they had another chance, right? If they can take their talents, their skills, and maybe a little less polka, a little more today, they might have something here.
Yeah. Maybe I just didn't get it, and maybe the judges just didn't get it. If it's a regional thing, they look like they were all over the place. Maybe it's just, it's too much. Maybe they're ahead of their time for the rest of us.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
It's Polka Tomorrow.
It is Polka Tomorrow.
problem.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, let's talk about Philip Weiner, 59-year-old singer and dancer. Turns out that he's an awful singer and awful dancer. If this is a comedy routine, like there might be something there, but I don't know if he knows that he's a comedy routine. It's one of those uncomfortable things.
Yep. We've seen those before.
If he could give a little bit of a wink, like, oh yeah, I know that this is bad, but there was no wink that way. It was just Philip being weird Philip, man. So it kind of lacked the fun of a real comedy act, and it kind of lacked the quality of a real comedy act. I wrote, this is uncomfortable in the way that William Hung is uncomfortable. It's a William Hung uncomfort that I have.
Yeah. So Mr. Phil sang a song called "The Phil."
Yeah.
So if we'd had the Phil along with the Carlton, would that have been something?
If he could get Carlton on stage with him, that would be something.
Because that would have been Uncle Phil with the Carlton.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
The
See what I did there?
Of course.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to Peter McIntosh. He's a ventriloquist.
Is he?
Well, he has a puppet.
Okay.
That speaks.
Okay.
Or moves its mouth. 23-year-old ventriloquist. He doesn't do ventriloquism, right? Like, he moves his own mouth a lot.
Yes. He basically speaks out loud, and then the puppet moves its mouth.
His material didn't seem to be very good either.
No.
Now, again, I'm kind of leaning on the wiki here.
Okay.
But Peter is now a teacher, and
well, good for Peter.
Here's the note. Peter has testified to his students that the act was staged as AGT needed a ventriloquist for a staged performance, thus choosing him even though he is not a qualified ventriloquist.
Okay.
So
AGT needed a ventriloquist?
They asked him to do ventriloquism.
Interesting.
But I don't know what he was there for. Like, was he maybe a comedy act? And they're like, ooh, you know what you could do is ventriloquists do really good on this show. So if you tie your comedy in with ventriloquism, and so, maybe he was asked to or forced to do this, but it was unfortunately something that was montaged and sort of made fun of instead of appreciated.
Yeah. Hey, so Peter, we just had a winner that was a ventriloquist, and we're going to have like 3 more winners be ventriloquists at some point. Do you want to be one of those? Because we'd love to get you on stage.
I can't imagine. Terry Fader is certainly a unique talent.
Yes.
And his ventriloquism is great. His material is fantastic. His impressions while he's ventriloquizing are really second to none, right? It's a very special, unique talent. And
he can sing.
The dude can sing.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, though, that the people in the ventriloquist world looked at Terry Fader winning and being like, well, I got better material than that. Or, a ventriloquist can win the show? Like, sign me up. So I have a hard time believing they were short on ventriloquists.
I know.
This season.
Yes.
So I don't know. Either way, that's Peter McIntosh. We've
Okay.
spent more time on him than he probably deserves. Let's talk about Ursula Knudsen. She's an opera singer, 29-year-old. She's going to play the saw while she sings. Down there in Tennessee, in the Ozarks, you guys got any saw players?
Well, so the Ozarks would be the other side of the state. So there might be some on that side. I think I've seen a couple of saw players in person on my end of the state.
Are you on the Appalachian side of the state?
We're on the Appalachian side of the state. Yes.
Oh, okay. Appalachian.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, I think the saw is a multi hillbilly instrument.
No. I agree. I'm not saying it's an exclusive.
Doesn't matter which.
No. Don't get me wrong.
Doesn't matter
I'm not
which
saying
backcountry you come from.
I'm not saying it's an exclusive to where I'm at. I'm just saying I don't live on that side of the state, so I can't speak for that side of the state. I'm sure there are some there. I just haven't witnessed it. But I have seen a couple on my side of the state. We do it on, the Eastern Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, Western North Carolina part of the United States.
Okay. All right. Have you ever played the saw, or do you know anything about playing the saw?
I do know that I have not personally played it, no. But I do know that it is played with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of put the saw, kind of in, one end of the saw, and it's usually, I really don't know about different types of saws, but it's not a chainsaw. I do know that. So it's usually one that's got the jagged teeth on it. But I don't know the different types of hand saws. I guess it is a hand saw.
Yeah, so it's a traditional hand saw. It's wider,
a traditional hand saw. Yes.
Where your handle is, and it's narrower up by the tip.
Yep. So you hold one end of it in one hand. You put the other end, kind of it in the,
the wider end goes between your knees, right?
Yeah. Well, not between your knees, but kind of more in the, between your belly and your leg, kind of in that little spot there, so that it kind of holds. You don't want to put it between your knees. That really doesn't hold well. But then, you play it with the bow, but then to kind of get the different tune, you bend it differently.
Yeah, so, I understand. There's a handle attached to the narrower end.
Yes,
and then
up here
with that you kind of bend it into an S shape.
Yep, you kind of do this. Right. Yep, you do this to get the different
goes up
tones
from your legs, and then kind of curves back at the handle.
Yep.
And then as you bow, you bend, and you create the different.
Yep. And
it's almost kind like a theremin noise, right?
Sure. Why not? Yeah, it makes kind of a wah 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 sound.
Yeah, let's call that a theremin noise.
Okay, sure. Okay.
You know what a theremin is, right? It's the instrument that you don't touch. That is the sort of the ghostly haunting sound. All right. Ursula Knudsen played the saw. She sang opera. She got 3 X's from the judges. Hoff said, probably the best comment of the night. The worst act I ever saw.
Typically, the saw and opera don't really mesh together very well.
No,
but his pun did.
I didn't get it at first. I was like, why are you using bad English? Oh.
Opposed to the band Bad English.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. That's Ursula Knudsen. Next is Rachel Starr, 22-year-old. She calls herself a sideshow poet. I looked. She does not appear to be any relation to Stevie Starr, the professional regurgitator.
Teaser alert. We will be doing a rewatchable of the professional regurgitator at some point.
Oh.
So teaser alert on that.
Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Not Stevie Starr. Rachel Starr, 22-year-old sideshow poet. She's going to jump on some broken glass while she recites some spoken word poetry. I do believe this is our first spoken word poet of the AGT history.
Is this something Brandon Leake should have done?
No.
Okay.
No, he did just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Didn't need anything different.
I do have that we have a missed opportunity during this performance, Jay.
What's that?
the missed opportunity is she should have sang walking on, broken glass.
Or at least recited it as a poem.
Or recited as a poem. That would have been great, too. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was... It didn't land with the judges. I didn't hate it. I also didn't like it. So Rachel Starr is eliminated. Moving from Rachel Starr, we've got Deborah Weiner, a pop singer. She's going to sing for us Dancing in the Street. It was bad singing. Unfortunately, I don't know. She didn't stop when she received her 3 buzzes from the judges. Hoff eventually joined her on stage and escorted her off stage, danced her off the stage while she sang. And I feel like that's something that we saw in coming up after the break, later in the show, you're going to see. And it was Deborah and Hoff helping her off the stage. So that happened. Then we got Kyle Rifkin. He's an R&B singer, 36-year-old. He's going to sing Ain't Too Proud to Bag by the Temptations. Please tell me this one's on the Cody Patterson playlist.
I didn't even know this was a song.
What?
I was getting ready to look. I was trying to see if I had the Temptations.
Oh, man. This is... When I was riding in the back of the car with my family, coming home from my grandpa's house, we're listening to Solid Gold Saturday Night on the radio. This is one of those songs that came up. I was surprised how well I knew the song when Kyle started singing it. Do you have any Temptations?
I don't. I don't. That's surprising. So I'm at a loss here.
Okay.
I figured I would have some Temptations, and my brain is just lost to what other Temptation songs there are. Help me out here for a minute, Jay.
Oh, geez.
I was getting ready to pull my Spotify up, and
I've got all the all those 60s R&B groups kind of run together in my mind.
I know someone's yelling at their podcast right now. My Girl.
My Girl. Treat Her Like a Lady. Get Ready. Ball of Confusion. Just My Imagination. Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
I've got the Temptations pulled up here on Spotify, and of the play counts, My Girl at number 1 at 538 million plays. Papa Rolling Stone number 2 at 107 million, and then Ain't Too Proud to Beg at 96 million. So the number 3 song for the Temptations on Spotify.
Right, well,
so
it's not a bad song, I didn't think. Kyle, he's going to get himself a sob story sob story backstory here, video package. He tells us all about his difficulties growing up, having to care for his siblings. And I don't want to make light of his experiences, and they are valid, but, ooh, man, America's got feels. We're leaning into it. And I was really kind of ready to not care for this performance. I was we get the sob story, we get the, he's listed as an R&B singer on the wiki. And I copied and pasted information the list of performers. I was like, man, an R&B singer. I don't like R&B, but I do like the Temptations, and apparently the R&B of the '60s and not the R&B of the '90s. Very different, right?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this performance, as it turned out.
So you weren't like a big Boys to Men fan?
No.
Okay.
Temptations are more my speed, I guess.
Okay, so I couldn't remember if you're a big fan of what the group that we had there at season 16 that was the R&B boy band.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going back a few months now.
Yeah. You're just jogging my memory in a way that it doesn't want to turn.
No, that's okay.
No, this song it starts. I know you want to leave me. It's a great song. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed Kyle. Hoff said, Kyle, there are times when I hate being a judge, and there are times like now when I love it. You are what the show is all about. Great job.
Wow. Yeah. I think they even showed in the like the previews that like Jerry was crying.
Yep. Jerry wiped a tear, I think, during this performance. Well, yeah, his mom joined him on the stage at this point. This is where we see, the crowd cheering and Jerry wipe away his tear. Pierce said, as you perform, I feel like I'm watching the Heart of America perform. You're up there with the best we've seen. Sharon said, you sing with a great deal of heart. You are amazing, and I love you. So 3 yeses, clearly enough to get him through to Vegas. And that is the end of episode 4.
Yeah, Korean Soul, I was trying to think of.
Korean Soul. Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're... I don't know that I would qualify them as R&B. Musical styles start to lose their meaning after some point, right? It's like they all overlap, right? In the Venn diagram, R&B overlaps with K-pop somewhere, and that might be where Korean Soul lands.
Okay. I like this. Would this have been a golden buzzer moment?
Quite likely, yeah.
Okay.
Could I ask, maybe, put you on the spot here? Who's your golden buzzer of the night?
It had to be him. Just looking it back, it was a pretty. Ever since like episode 1 and 2, I just don't feel like we've had anything very strong. I mean, Sarah Lenora was pretty good. I did enjoy Victoria. She was pretty good. But if you're talking about like the story and the power that the performance had, it's got to be Kyle.
All right.
Yeah.
I think my personal golden buzzer, the one that I would like to see, the one that I'm most excited about, is probably the James Gang.
Yes. Yep. I would absolutely give it to like Flambeau.
Oh, Flambeau's. Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. I want the Cody Patterson.
Oh, yeah. Then it's definitely Flambeau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely Flambeau.
All 3.5 seconds that we got to see. Maybe Flambeau's facial hair I'd give it to.
Okay. Yep.
All in all, I think this was a really fun episode. I enjoyed that this was a little bit shorter, a little bit more easy to digest, like I said, than the those 2-hour episodes. The nights get pretty late sometimes when I'm trying to take all these notes, and it can become a little bit of a slog. But I like this format.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that the rest of auditions are exactly this way.
Woohoo! How many more auditions do we have, Cody?
We get 7 auditions.
Only 7.
7. Yes, and I had it here. It says MySpace. Are we getting a MySpace audition?
We might.
Is Tom going to show up and show us his friends?
Everybody's friend Tom. I doubt we're going to get a Tom show up, a Tom viewing, Tom sighting. So we get 7 audition rounds, and then I'm seeing 2 Vegas rounds.
Yep.
Where they cut it down to 60 and then down to 40 that make it to the quarterfinals. In those 2 episodes. In the quarterfinals, we get 4 quarterfinals, 3 semifinals, and then the finals takes 4 nights? 4? Wow.
Yeah, there's a finals top 5 episode. So,
jeez. So we got 20 total episodes. We're 4 in. We'll see if we get this season licked before season 17 starts.
Yeah, Yeah, there's going to be a lot. And we're going to be mixing in some AGT rewatchables along the way. Commenter and I already have some lined up that we want to do. We do have already a guest lined up for one of those rewatchables. We're also looking at an interview that we've been approached to do. So we're trying to get that finalized, and hopefully that'll be coming up real quick within the next week or so.
Not to mention AGT Extreme,
Olympics, all that type stuff. We may not take a break for the Olympics. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm big on my Olympics. We'll have to see how that schedule works out. But that's all in like January, February. So we'll talk about that when we get to the holidays.
Yeah.
But that's right around the corner. By the time you all get this, it'll be November. And so then we'll be lining up the rewatchables and some other things at that point. So
in my brain, November 1st feels like a pretty natural start for the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I wanna push it back and say that the holiday season starts when people start decorating for Halloween.
August.
Sure, August. Okay. Sometime in August is the start of the holiday season.
Okay. July, Independence Day's done, or I guess what is it, Labor Day? Well, I guess it'd be between Independence Day and Labor Day.
No, honestly, October 1st is probably the first day that if I see Halloween decorations on October 1st, I probably wouldn't scoff at them. Okay, that's too early.
Yep.
So October 1st is the start of holiday season. That's where I'm gonna plant my flag.
Okay, that's fair. I'm a little bit later. I'm more of a Thanksgiving and, for me, Christmas. I know there's other holidays around that time, but once we start getting past Halloween, so November 1st feels more to me like the holiday season. But I don't really start doing Christmas stuff until Thanksgiving. So I'm more of a one season at a time type person.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the holiday season then.
Yes. But I don't consider Halloween part of that.
All right. That's fair.
So,
yeah. There's an argument to be made for saying you got to finish Halloween before you start decorating for Thanksgiving, and that's when the holiday season starts.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're literally the next day, so might as well tie Halloween into it. That's what I say.
Yeah, I know that Halloween and Thanksgiving kind of are related because it's all that harvest and fall type feeling. It's the pumpkins and the those types of decorations that kind of blend together. I totally get that. It's the decorating for Christmas in September that
that's a little early.
Yeah. So anyway, right. That's holiday talk.
Well, this has been holiday talk. Well, man, it's been fun so far. We've got a lot of irons in the fire here, a lot of stuff coming down the pike at you guys. Stay interested, stay involved, tweet at us, rate, review, subscribe, please. And we'll look forward to talking at you next week.
Yep. I do have another quick announcement, Jay, that I will be going back on and discussing Boy Meets World again with Sarah and Jess. I will be recording that on the day that you all get this podcast. So that podcast will come out when we record our Auditions 5 podcast on Thursday the 4th.
Okay.
So, go check out Sarah and Jess, because I'll be talking Boy Meets World on there again.
Very good. And that's, we can't say the whole name of the show, but it's S90 Shows Taught Me. Is that it?
That's right. Okay. So, yep.
But you can fill in the blanks after the letter S yourself. Because we're a family-friendly podcast. We got to keep that tag.
Yeah, because Tom Cotter almost ruined it for us.
Oh. All right. Well, Cody, let's put a bow on this one. Listeners, we appreciate you guys. And I will remind you all to stay safe, and we'll talk to you again in a week.
Have a good night.
Bye.